All right, guys, don't forget about Underdog Wireline, man. I'm doing a quick shout out for these guys. You know, they've been sponsoring us since day one almost, man. So it's a great guys, great company. You know, if you need a logged, perf, you know, they do completion, open hole. They got they got drop guns, man. They got lay down machines. They got all kinds of stuff, dude. So check them out. Don't forget, I'm gonna put the number up right here. Look them up, man. They're great people. They know how to get it done. I worked with them personally out here, you know, especially on the wireline side. So I know exactly what they're doing. Their hands are out there helping out. So I've said it before. I'll say it again, man. Hit them up. They're the best out here. Give them a shout out, dude.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Patch Boys again, here to announce yet another sponsor, Branded 14 Hot Shot Services LLC. They offer hot shot work, ESP spooling, ESP technician service, and heavy hauling with semis. These guys are local. They're helping us out, so we want to help them out. Go give them a call at 432-638-1755. All the other information we're going to put right down here, so you guys can give them a call, send them an email, however you need to get in contact with them. We appreciate it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Patch Boys back again with a very special guest. Our incumbent, our current mayor, however you want to say it, right? Mayor Lori Blong.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. We had a very good conversation last time she was here. And now, of course, with the mayoral race going on, of course, it would only be proper to have the mayor in here after we had Judd, right? And get some of these questions going. But before we get started, if you want to just kind of give your own entrance to this podcast, right? Just
Sure.
kind of tell the people what you're about and what you're running on and all that good stuff.
Perfect. Well, I am a lifelong Midlander, born and raised here in Midland, Texas, graduated from Midland High, and moved away for about 11 years for my college and early career, and had a couple babies before I moved back, and then one after I got back here. So I have 3 kids. My husband Jared and I have an oil and gas company together that we started in 2013. So if you really want to go through some sanctification, then you should work with your spouse.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a good thing for me. And so over the life of, you know, just the time being back here since 2011, we've just gotten deeply involved in Midland, and I love this community, and I want to be able to serve and give back. And so that's really what's motivated me to run first for city council and then for mayor. And it's what's making me want to run one more time. Yeah, for sure. And I think during my time on city council and as mayor, I've really been a solutions-oriented, get-it-done kind of girl. I see a problem, I want to find a solution, I want to get things solved. And so we've seen that with the firefighter pension fund, $121 million problem that had been going on for 20 years, and we got it solved. And then I was so thankful to have the firefighters' endorsement even after that.
Nice.
So that's been a huge thing. And, you know, bringing Costco to town and just addressing a lot of the infrastructure problems that we've had with so much investment in our infrastructure. So I'm a get it done kind of girl. I'm ready to solve some more problems for Midland, and I'm excited for the opportunity.
All right.
Wow, that was
Thank
good.
you so much.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, last time we had you here, of course, we talked a lot about the fun stuff, the zoo and what you like, and, you know, the soccer fields, which are going up right next door to my work, which was awesome. It was funny because I talked to some of my coworkers, and they're like, if you're going to have her on, ask her what they're building on the edge of our site. Are they building a wall or what? It's funny, but it's just a little joke that we have around there.
Well, I'll have to get back with you. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think most of the stuff that we spoke about has now come to fruition with Costco up, everything breaking ground, the schools, everything is now coming to fruition. And of course, with all that now happening, you get all the questions, right? What's next? Is it worth it taking the next step? Is it not worth it taking the next step? I think right now in your mind, I know you're talking about solving problems and everything. What comes to mind right away? Because you've been in the seat already for a while, and in your mind, there has to be something glaring there, like, I need a little bit more time to kind of take care of that, or what in your mind sticks out?
So that's actually what motivated me to run. There was a pause there. We have accomplished so much in the last 3 years as mayor, and then the 3 before that on council. But one of the things that caused me to say no, I need to stay and see this across the finish line is some of the water development work that we've had going on. The Fort Stockton Holdings contract that we secured is a partnership between Abilene, San Angelo, and Midland, and that's a great project. It's really important for us, but it's not. We still have to figure out how to get the pipeline constructed and the right-of-way acquisition and some of those kinds of things. And so while we have the water contracted, and it's a rechargeable aquifer. So this is truly a 100-year water solution combined with the other things that we already have. But we need to make sure we've got the right-of-way between there and Midland, and we've got a plan for the pipeline construction and making sure that we have the steps in place for that long-term project. That's a huge driver for me. Another thing is we've done a lot of work over the last couple of years to find efficiencies, find places where we were spending too much money. Where were the places where we could cut? We talk a lot about Doge, but we've had our own Doge Midland over the last couple of years, $116 million of cost recovery that we've been able to find. That's something that's very well documented that I can show to anybody who has questions, $116 million. And I want us to continue that effort. We're not done. We have some further efficiencies to find. And so water combined with finding those efficiencies are really important to me.
Speaking of transparency, I know that recent document's going around right now about with Ken Paxton. What is your perspective on that? Because people are saying that, the city's trying to hide things. I mean, that's just what I've seen online, and I'm just kind of curious what your point of view is out of that.
Well, the Ken Paxton letter is not related to Midland. It's related to Odessa and a couple of other cities. So I think that's what you're talking about with they're investigating Odessa and their tax increase. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I saw one that showed that City of Midland, a document, and it showed Ken Paxton.
Oh,
yes.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it's the MDC stuff.
So there was a FOIA request, a public information request for some documentation. There were some expenditures on the report that was released, and one of those expenditures was related to medical care, and that is a protected class of information, and so we followed the law. And when I say we, let me be really clear. Public information requests go through the city attorney's office, and the city attorney's office follows the law in the way that we release that.
Right.
So the city attorney's office manages that from start to finish. That is not a thing that comes to council where we provide direction or we say, nope, we don't want that to go out there. The city attorney's office provided that documentation. They released everything from they actually printed a report from Munis, which is our software, and they printed that report, provided everything that was responsive to the request, and then they redacted that medical procedure,
right?
And sent it to the Attorney General's office, and that's what the law says to do.
Oh, okay, all right then. Yeah, I just seen that online. I figured we'd probably bring that up too, because I know it's one thing I've seen going around a lot, and people are talking a lot about it. But one thing I do think is that you as a mayor, I mean, I think we've always felt comfortable with you. I think you're very conservative when it comes to those things, and I think people are just like a little nervous when it comes down to all the bonds that are going through, right? I mean, we've had the big school bond, $1 billion. We just had that one for the Midland College, and I just wanted to know, like, do you think Midland's maybe gone too far with the bonds, or do you think we should slow down, or how is your view on that?
So I think it's a really good question, and I think it's something we need to look at. You guys know that the school district is separate from the city.
Yes.
And so the mayor and the city council don't get to make decisions on their bond or on any of the other taxing entities. So we have not, we had the 2017 road bond, $100 million for the roadway improvements. That road bond had to be done. We had truly failing infrastructure. It wasn't just the street. It was the storm drain and water and sewer underneath the street. All of those things were failing. And so that's why and voters passed it.
Yeah.
We have had some additional bonds that the city council has done, certificates of obligation, which is debt that we take on for specific projects. So one of those was the Hogan Park Golf Course. That one's going to be paid back by the fees. And I can sit down with you and show you whatever detail you want to get into, but I can show you how those fees pay back that debt. We've had some additional debt for our landfill The city of Midland actually owns and operates our own landfill and does all of our own trash trucks and sanitation. Not all cities do that. But you have to build on to your landfill as your population grows, and as you fill up the old landfill, you got to dig a new one. And so we have to, just to remain compliant with TCEQ and to be able to continue taking people's trash, we have to have more landfill. And so there was some debt there. That's also being paid back by, on your water bill where you have the trash collection fee. That's going to pay that back. So a lot of the debt, one place where we don't have user fees that are paying that back that we've done in the last couple of years, when we corrected the fire pension fund, so that was a huge $121 million problem. The solution was that the city of Midland would either have to go out for a bond, a pension obligation bond, or we would have to come to some sort of solution where the firefighters gave up a portion of their benefit, so they get less benefit. It costs them, that's part of the solution, and then the city would come in with a cash solution. Right. We chose to do that, but the only way that we could have the cash to do that was we used what was allocated for the Beal Park project. Oh, okay. So we used that cash out of $54 million of cash that was going to go towards that project, and we decided we're going to use this to solve this problem, and we're going to use debt to be able to pay for the Beal Park project. Right. We've already paid back $9 million of the principal on that last year because we were able to get ahead on that. And we believe that was a reasonable and prudent thing to solve a problem with the cash that we had on hand, because it's way cheaper debt. The interest is way lower to go for that kind of a bond on a park than a pension obligation bond, where the fees and the taxes are way higher. Okay. And so we looked at the cost of capital, we made a judgment call, and that's what we did.
Okay. See, this is the thing about everyone, especially whenever it gets into people online and bringing up transparency, right? That's a very good explanation. It makes very good sense. Now, the same question that we asked Judd, right? How would you make it more transparent, right? You've been in a seat that he hasn't been, right?
Correct.
You have a different view of what he's talking about. Possibly Judd wants to do this online. He wants to, he said himself, it should be online and it should be as transparent as possible, right? If you were to change anything as far as transparency, because if I were to read something online close to the explanation that you just gave, I'd be happy. I'd be happy because it made sense. So how would you change the whole transparency aspect of things? Because that's the big, I feel like in this race, that's the big ticket item. That's what everybody is holding over, not just yours, but Judd's head as to this is what we want, an explanation that we want, right? Of course, Judd is a CPA, he's an accountant, and he has numbers coming out the wazoo, right? But as far as an explanation, right? Layman's terms, explanations, how do you deliver those? Do you have, like, moving forward, would you do anything different to deliver basically a more transparent view of what we're doing with the finances? So
I have said everything I just said to you. I've said in city council meetings publicly.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything that I just said there that I haven't already said in a public meeting. I have said them online in various other places, and it is on the city's website. So it is online.
Okay.
So I think that the concern and what people find when they get in this role, we don't have a news media in Midland that is reporting things like that. And that's really unfortunate.
Right.
And so figuring out how to get what I just said into the ears and the minds of people in our community,
all these people,
that's a challenge. And I don't want to undercut that or downplay minimize that. That is the challenge. It is not because we're not trying to say it. Yeah. We're trying to say it. The presentations that we do in our council meetings, I think they frustrate some of the same group of people. They don't want to sit through a presentation. Well, how are you going to get the information if you don't hear what we're doing? Yeah. We made the decision to go out for bonds for Beale Park because those bonds had a better interest rate than the bond for the pension obligation bond. We chose the lower interest rate, and we had a problem we had to solve.
Yeah.
We said that in a public meeting. We said it in a presentation. We've said it online. How else do we get it out there? And if you don't have a media organization that's willing to run it, how do you ever communicate it to people? The other thing I would say is, if that was online and would you actually read it? Realistically, are you going to go read what I just said online?
Maybe if I had you coming in the next week, I might. But
so
you're right.
that's what we mean.
Yeah.
Whenever I say, is there somewhere to actually look it up? It's because I myself got lost trying to find it.
Yeah.
Right. Because obviously we know you're coming in. We prepare, and what it truly is for people like myself and Ricky to be able to read it and be able to regurgitate that to the listener. Because I feel like even in where we're at too, and we can be held accountable too, like, what are you regurgitating to the public?
Yep.
If I'm not intaking the proper things to give out to the public, am I giving them lies? It's possible. It's possible. And I don't want to do that. Right. Which is why our view of transparency is kind of like easy. Somebody laid it out for you, social media style, quick 30 seconds, stuff like that. And I know that that's something that we struggle with in media. So I really do try to go out and read and find these things, but I find it difficult.
Yeah.
You typically, whenever I find something, it's when I'm looking for something else, and I wasn't looking for it. Put it that way, right? I'm looking for something else, maybe about you, about funding, about the bonds, about anything else, and then it kind of, oh, okay, here's another article, or here's something else, and then I kind of stumble upon it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where I'm glad everybody's hearing that it is available to you. But just like you guys might have the problem finding it, I myself have a problem finding it. So it's not so much of an issue for you or an issue for Judd. I'm just saying it's like an issue, period.
It is.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
The public kind of needs somebody to step up and give that information. I know certain sites are giving that. The only problem is I find myself having an issue of being Switzerland, being a middleman, right?
Sure.
And you have two groups. One group releases this stuff, only this stuff, and there's more information over here. This other group releases only this stuff, and I'm caught in the middle trying to make sense of the whole story.
Right.
So that's kind of an issue.
There's one thing too, specific to there's a debt chart that they're circulating around. You may have seen it, where it looks like the city of Midland has over $800 million worth of debt.
Yeah.
That's not an accurate number. I don't know where that number came from. The number is really closer to 500 some odd, 550, 547, something along those lines of total debt for the city of Midland. I don't know where over $800 million came from, but it's not accurate.
Yeah.
And I can demonstrate that also through multiple different websites that fact check those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So, there is a bond review board that puts out the publication, and it would have the correct number. I actually checked it before I came over here because I suspected that we were going to have this conversation. But that website has the correct number on there. Okay. And so we need to make sure, and we all should be held accountable, right? I'm not pushing back against being held accountable, but let's be held accountable with facts, not with innuendo or insinuating some sort of criminal behavior or insinuating, I've seen some stuff about the council members and the mayor's credit cards. We don't even have credit cards. Yeah. They don't issue us credit cards. Yeah. So that's not even a thing. So if you go and try to pull our credit cards and you don't get anything back from the FOIA request, it's not because we hid it, it's because we don't have one. Right. My family pays for the things that I do. And so those are the kinds of things. Let's fact check each other, and let's do hold each other accountable, but let's make sure we're talking about truth, not insinuation of something. Yes,
and that's kind of why we wanted to have you on, to have another point of view.
Sure.
We don't want to just push stuff out that we don't know either. And and speaking of that, how do you feel about the MDC transactions they just recently had online with them going to all the restaurants, Cowboy Prime and all that, spending thousands
or MDC as a whole? How do you feel about the organization? I mean, if you want to call it an entity, more like
let's take those in order because it's two separate questions. MDC as an entity brings in basically $16 million on a good year, $16 million of revenue. And so there's a board of people that help make recommendations of where those $16 million are spent. And then ultimately it comes to city council for final approval. $16 million is a lot of money, but the total city budget is almost $500 million. So we're getting wrapped around the axle over $16 million, which we should pay attention, and I'm not minimizing that at all. Right. But you also have to place that in its larger context of what the city council and what all we're stewarding. $500 million a year in total budget. So that's something that I want to put in perspective. The MDC this year, with that $16 million, we've changed it to now 35% at minimum gets allocated of that $16 million every year back into infrastructure projects. And more than that in some years. That's something that's been a priority for me that I've instituted, since I've been on council and as mayor. With that, this year, we put money into the design plans for the Todd Drive overpass and for the signalized intersection that's going to go 158.
Okay.
Those two projects. We put in a couple $1 million for the design plans and all of that. With that couple $1 million investment, the city received back from the state of Texas, from TxDOT, $32 million because we did those design plans, and so TxDOT's going to come build it for us.
Okay.
$32 million that we brought back into this community with that $2 million investment, and we supercharged that project 5 to 6 years faster than we would have gotten it otherwise. I think that's a good use of money.
Yeah.
We doubled our money. $16 million of revenue. We made a couple $1 million investment, and we brought in $32 million. Those are the kinds of things that are important to me. The MDC also, since I've been on council and as mayor, we now have a process where we don't prepay any of these groups that we're doing a deal with. So they have to bring jobs, they have to bring their capital investment into our community, and then the incentive happens after they've delivered. We're not giving them something that they're not already demonstrating their success in our community. So those are reimbursements after they've already demonstrated their success. That's not how it's always been done, but that's important to me. You got to put your money where your mouth is first, and then we will help with some of those things. But let me also back up and say, I don't really love incentives to start with. If I were, queen for a day and making all the decisions, I wouldn't even do incentives. I would let the free market work. But the reality in the state of Texas is we do have incentives that the city and economic development corporations can put forward. And if we're going to say in Midland, we're not going to use any of these incentive packages, we're hamstringing ourselves. And those companies are going to go to a city where they do incentives. And so we're competing with Lubbock and, Abilene and Odessa and, enter any name here. Any of these growing communities that are doing good stuff, they have incentive structures that they're using for their economic development. We have to play the game with the rules that we've been given in the state of Texas. And that is something that, it's not really what I prefer, but it's the way that the rules are written right now.
Right.
Okay.
So to go back to your question about some of the expenditures, there's a couple of them that I would not defend. I do think that some of them are high, but overall, when we have site selector groups that are coming in from the state level, or some of them are national site selectors. So a site selector is think about, I don't know what to relate it to, almost like a realtor. But these are people they have a business and they're looking for a place to take their business expansion.
So it's a franchise deal.
Well, sometimes, but they're not. Let's say that you own Costco, and you are interested in bringing Costco to Midland, or you're looking just for the next place to expand in the state of Texas. A site selector may come to our community and look around and have conversations. It's the same thing if you're doing an oil and gas deal, or you're, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're going to sit down and you're going to have dinner and you're going to talk through it. And do I like these people? Do I want to do a deal with them? Do I think I can actually get a deal done? That's what a lot of those dinners are. are, people having a conversation to say, can we get a deal done here? Do we want to work with each other? And I think some of that is necessary. I think that we can evaluate and take some of those different expenditures on a case-by-case basis, and we might not find all of them to be worthwhile. But as a concept, we do have to be able to have dinners where we sit down and talk about things.
Kind of like a sales meeting or a salesman for an oil field company.
It's very understandable. I think, honestly, whenever we talk about stuff like that, because the same thing happens at my company, at Ricky's company, the oil business and the oil people out there, blue collar workers, whatever you want to call it, they understand this. This is an understandable way of putting things. The only thing I would say, and I don't know if you would agree, it looks like that the answers that they're searching for are answers simply answered through itemization. Is that something that you think MDC would ever think about doing? Is itemizing any of those expenditures? Because it's very different when you see a number, and I see a $4,000 number, right? And all it says is whatever Joe Blow restaurant, right? That's all it says. It's very different when you have an itemized sheet that says 10 different entrees or something of that nature, and that's why the main number is what the main number is, right? We may go out in a group of 4, we may go out in a group of 15. There's a huge difference in those things. So I don't know I don't know how closely you as mayor or the city council work with MDC. I have no idea how that works, honestly. And I don't know if you care to share how closely that works or how you guys go about stuff like
we
that.
are working with them on some projects, and then some projects they're pursuing, and then they bring them to us. Nothing goes to a completed approved state without coming through the city council, but there's a lot of pre-work that goes into it. We don't attend all of those site selector meetings. We don't attend all of the tire kicking meetings, basically, where these folks are coming to town and trying to decide if they want to relocate their business here. We attend as they come closer to, okay, we're close to getting a deal done. They're going to reach out to us and say, okay, Mayor, can you and another council member come to this and talk to these folks and let them get a feel for our local city leadership? And so I'll attend some of those things occasionally. There's a lot of, phone calls where one of those board members will reach out and say, hey, we're talking about this. Do y'all have an appetite for that? Or we don't want to do all this work as the MDC board and then realize y'all are not in favor of this. So there's some of those kind of phone calls. So that's kind of the way that it works in terms of what city council and the mayor have with the MDC. But the MDC is its own, as we've said, entity. So they're doing their work knowing that they don't ultimately get approval until they bring it back to us.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
That's not, it's one thing I wanted to ask too. It's like, is it hard? Is it a lot for you? Like, because people come to you, they look at you for everything. Like we're over here, we're hitting you up for something that, like that. And it's like, what has that been like for you this past term for you? I mean, Like, is it hard? Is it stressful? What is it like for you?
So realistically, I put in 40 to 60 hours a week on city-related things that I would not be doing if I were not in this role. And for your context, I get paid $75 a month, which I then donate. So this is a volunteer job that I work 40 to 60 hours a week at. And I recognize that that's insane. I think my husband would be the first person to say that's insane. Or maybe my 12-year-old son, actually. I think he would be the first to say.
There's a combination for sure.
They don't. And I think Midlanders have that question. There's people that are like, why would you work this hard? Why would you raise this much money for a campaign? Why would you do all of this for a volunteer position? And it's not a fancy answer and it's not a line. I really do love this community. And I do believe that if we don't have good people who are willing to put in the work, then we're going to look up and we're going to be Midland, Texas in 1986 instead of Midland, Texas in 2025. And I was here in 1986. I don't want to go back to that, right? And so I'm thankful to have a husband and a family that is able to support and sustain the pace and the schedule. And so I'm going to step forward and do it one more time. But it has been costly. It has cost us money. I have to go to DC and Austin because we don't believe in taxpayer supported lobbying here in Midland. So we don't hire a lobbyist for a lot of the things that we do. And so that means that the mayor and the city council have to go and have conversations with our elected representatives, either in DC or Austin. And a lot of that comes out of my pocket. And so it has cost me time, it has cost me money, and it has cost me some, just the nonsense that is happening on social media, the reputational risk of people saying whatever they want to say, and that's just a part of the gig, and I know that, but I don't want to portray it as though it's not costly. It is.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I did see that one video went viral of you walking out of the console. Well, do you have anything to say about that?
Maybe your side of
yeah.
Hey everybody, Patch Boys here. We want to do this quick short so we can provide some information about our new sponsors, Underdog Wireline. You can see I'm wearing their merch here. So I just want to tell you a few things that they provide. Of course, they're in Wireline. In Wireline, they provide pump down, logging, pipe recovery services, and as well production work. And some of the other stuff that they provide, they have emergency shower trailers and cool down trailers for rent. At the end of this, we're going to put their contact information. They believe in us, we believe in them, and I think we're a match made in heaven. We appreciate all the support, and we hope that you support Underdog Wireline as well. Thank you guys. Hey, what's up everybody? Patch Boys here, showing the new merch drop from Tejas Hustle, man. They got amazing hats. They just gave us a plethora of hats to show off. We got some corduroy hats, nice and soft, light as a feather. Some trucker hats, man, that you're used to wearing out in the patch, looking amazing. We got some hunting gear, you know what I'm saying? Orange love right there. And this hat that we're wearing right now, which Ricky's going to gush over in just a few seconds, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate Texas Hustle for hooking us up, man, making us look good.
Oh, yeah, man. We love it, man. We appreciate all the support. Like he said, I'm loving this hat, bro. This hat right here, look, man, it looks good on both of us, bro. And we got two different types of heads. So check them out, man. And, these guys support us. If you're looking for any shirts, you're looking for any decals, you're looking for any cowboy gear, something, man, check them out at TejasHatco.com. Look at their links on the bottom of our description on the episodes, and you can be able to get them. So support them like you support us. If you love us, you love the Permian Basin, you love the oil and gas industry, you love this local thing we got going, check them out, man, because they're doing great stuff, and we appreciate their support.
Shop local, and don't forget, keep on hustling, baby.
There you go.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Patch Boys again, here to announce yet another sponsor, Branded 14 Hot Shot Services, LLC. They offer hot shot work, ESP spooling, ESP technician service, and heavy hauling with semis. These guys are local. They're helping us out, so we want to help them out. Go give them a call at 432-638-1755. All the other information we're going to put right down here, so you guys can give them a call, send them an email, however you need to get in contact with them. We appreciate it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Patch Boys here. Blessed again to be announcing another sponsor for us. This one's going to be Titan. They're running out of crane. They're real close to me. It's family. So we want you guys to support them like they support us, right? So they're running out of crane. If you want to get in contact with them, it's 432-307-1960. Some of the stuff that they offer right now, if they have rustabout maintenance crews, trash trailers, porta potties, combo trailers, forklifts, and they're adding more stuff every single day. So if you guys want to support them so they can continue to support us and give you all the content that you want, go ahead and give them a call. Thank you.
So my daughter is at the Naval Academy, and she was completing her first year of the Naval Academy, and they have something called the Herndon Climb, which is this ceremonial, or it's they climb this obelisk, and once they climb that, then they're a plebe no more. They've graduated from their first year.
Wow! And
it's this huge achievement, and I wanted to be there for my daughter to be able to see that and support her. The Naval Academy has been intense, and she's done really good work. Yeah. And so in that meeting, repeatedly throughout the meeting, I said, I'm going to have to leave at this time to catch my flight to get to Annapolis, Maryland, so that I can be there with my daughter. And I did what I said, and I left when I said I was going to leave, and I went to see my daughter.
Yeah, okay.
And I had sat there and taken it on the chin from folks
believe me,
for a long time before I had to get up and leave. And I didn't leave because I was mad. I left because I needed to make it to see my daughter.
Absolutely. And that's the main reason why we ask, is because so much is made with, videos that get put out, right? So much is made of a 30-second clip, right?
Yep.
And so definitely here we want to give equal opportunity for everybody to defend themselves, man. And I don't know about everybody else, but in my house, family comes first. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have been as nice about it. So considering what you were going to do, I think you were more than within your right.
Well, and to provide a little additional framework, a lot of those folks that have made hay with this on social media, I had meetings with them in person before and after that. Like, don't act like I didn't listen to you. I met with you and sat and heard your concerns and I've taken those into consideration. I'm not, I want to engage with people and understand, and I'm not walking out when people are trying to talk to me. I'm giving 40 to 60 hours of my week, sometimes more, to be able to be there for people and to do a good job at this. I want to do it with excellence because of my own integrity. Yeah. But I also am not going to not be there for my kids.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for clearing that up. I'm sure people are going to appreciate it. Yeah.
One thing about speaking about kids, I mean, one thing I will, applaud you on is that when they try to do that kid drag show downtown, or not downtown, but over there, and that one, that selfie place, whatever. And I did know that they were unhappy that you didn't help them, and that made me feel good because I did not like that. And I think a lot of people like us are from here, and we won't want this town to turn to something else. No. So, I do applaud you on that because it did make me feel good about it, And I think everybody no matter where you stand at politically right now on that, I mean, at least here, if you're like conservative, you're always we all stood behind that part, what I'm saying? So I do appreciate you doing that. And I haven't forgot that. I was going to bring that up because that's one thing I did ask, when we had on the former Judd, and we're talking to him, and they mentioned to him, like, I don't want that stuff around, and he said he didn't, and I do know you don't like that.
Yeah. I don't like that stuff either, and something that you're coming up here in a couple of meetings on City Council, we're going to be voting on an ordinance that further secures our kids in this community. So we're bringing an ordinance forward that requires registered sex offenders to live a certain distance away from schools, from daycares, and from playgrounds and parks. We need to make sure that kids are protected in this community. And there's a lot of cities in the state of Texas that already have ordinances like that. Midland has never done that. And it's a priority for me to make sure we are keeping kids safe in Midland. And so you're going to see that coming forward. And we've got some other things in the works where we're making sure that we can ensure the safety of kids. And a safe town for kids is a safe town for all of us. We all need that. Absolutely. And so, we've hired 33 new police officers since I've been in my role. And so I'm proud of some of those things. We're taking it really seriously and doing everything we can. That doesn't mean that the crime rate is zero, but we're bringing the crime rate down. We still have stuff to deal with. But 33 new police officers, a crime rate reduction for violent crime of over 10%. Yeah. Those are real numbers, real statistics that we can point to and say, we're moving this in the right direction, and it's because we love this community.
And so that's one thing too. I think sometimes I see like people who are not from here come here and they want to change Midland. But do you feel like you want to change Midland but keep Midland the same, or how would you be on that part?
I want to keep the values of Midland the same. I want this to be a family-friendly place for the future. And I think it has been. I've been blessed to be here and be raised in that culture. And we've got, whether you're, doesn't matter what part of town you're in Midland, Texas, we care about family here. And so I want that to continue to be the case. And I want families to grow and thrive. But I do want us to reinvest back into ourselves. We still have some water pipelines, like just water, sewer, and storm drainage in certain parts of town that were built in the 50s, y'all. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, we have to invest back into our community. That's conservative. It is a conservative thing to invest back into the assets that we own and make sure that they're going to be successful for the long haul. We cannot just pull back and refuse to spend money on investing in ourselves and then look up and it's all crumbling. We have to make sure that we're taking care of business, we're doing the maintenance that is necessary, and that we're providing well for families.
Yeah. And, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Speaking of investment back in the city, the thing that just happened where they found mineral rights underneath the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something where they think the money will go back to the city? I think I've seen some articles on it, but I haven't really read too much in it.
Yeah, so those minerals, the city purchased those minerals in 1942. And so the taxpayers of Midland own them. And in 2012, under the Obama administration, there was a law passed that allows airports to restrict city-owned minerals to the airport. Well, you guys know how much oil can be produced under Midland Air Park. I mean, that is a lot of money coming from those as those minerals are developed out over time. We're talking about several $100 million worth of revenue. Midland Air Park does not need that. Our airport system does not need that, but we have other things in our community that do need that. And I believe it's a federal overreach for them to tell us how we have to spend our dollars when that's an asset that the taxpayers of Midland bought in 1942. We own it, and we get to decide how we're going to spend it. And so I believe that those dollars need to go back into our infrastructure for water and for some of these improvements that we need to make around town. And then I think anything that is, over and above that needs to go in a stabilization fund. Something that we can have like a rainy day fund when we have a crisis that we need to address. Those dollars need to be, ours to allocate to the right project.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought that was wild when I saw that. I was like,
yeah, I just read that. I thought it was so fresh. I was like, I'm not gonna ask about that because it's so new.
Well, I'm not gonna lie,
but I'm sure you've known about it.
Well,
for some time.
I've seen some nonsense about leave it to the city council to not realize. We did know it. The problem is not that we didn't know. The problem is that there was a law passed in 2012 that ties our hands.
Yeah.
We need to be able to make sure. Now, another thing for the drilling that's going on over there next to Midland Air Park. So that is not just Midland Air Park minerals. There's thousands of homeowners and other city-owned revenue under a couple of parks and other places. So some of that revenue is already coming back to the city, and it's definitely going back to the homeowners that own the minerals under their house.
Yeah.
So we're just talking, the part that's being disputed here is just what is directly underneath
the airport.
Midland Air Park.
Okay. Yeah, because I know some of those are my minerals over there too. So we have mad problems with those. But no, I think you've expanded above and beyond the stuff that we obviously wanted to talk about. One glaring thing, obviously, from the discussion that we had with Judd, was the Omni, right? What are your thoughts on the Omni? Are you 100% backing that project? Do you have issues with it? I know you said that it's all about what it's going to bring to us before they see any money back from us. What do you expect them to bring to this community?
So the Omni project is one of these projects that they don't get paid until they deliver on the product. So they have benchmarks that they have to meet. At certain percentage completed, then we release some of the payment. And another percentage completed, we release more of the payment. That contract is public. So if you have any desire to read it, the transparency is there. Go read the contract. It's there. But when I look at what I expect from that, 800 parking spaces. Some of those are going to be public. Some of them are going to be for the hotel and other. But 800 new parking spaces that we need in downtown. If you've attended something, the 4th of July celebration or Chalk the Block or Midland Merry Lights, those are really important things to the culture and the community of Midland. And we need places for people to be able to park down there. That's a huge portion of what the MDC funds are going towards. That's not something that my opponent's talking about. We're funding a parking garage, and we're funding more than that, but we're funding largely an 800 space parking garage. That's important. I do believe that the Omni Hotel is really important to our community because we need to have quality spaces to hold conferences. In my lifetime, we've gone from holding all of these huge conferences here in our community, and we've lost some of those because we don't have a quality hotel for people to stay in. And when I say that's not fair, we have quality hotels. We don't have full service hotels that can host these large scale conventions. The DoubleTree is no longer able to, I don't think they even have a DoubleTree flag anymore. They're no longer able to do that. So we've had the Permian Energy Dialogues is one that I always cite. They came here for a while. They no longer come to Midland for the Permian Energy Dialogues. They've had it in Santa Fe. They've had it in other communities because we don't have a place to host them. We're losing revenue, and we're losing the oil and gas centric focus. I mean, we're the center of the Permian. The Permian energy dialogues need to be happening in Midland, Texas.
100.
But we've got to have a place to host them. And so our convention center is great. But if you don't have a place for people to stay when they come to that convention, then you're going to miss out on it. We've already got a lot of the different groups that have, large oil companies here. They want a certain number of room nights booked up in advance. Like, they want to pre-book that for the year so that they can speak for that. This is something that our business community really needs. But also, I believe it's going to be great for all of us. We can go down there and have dinner, or book a room and take our kids down there for a birthday party, or I mean, I grew up doing that at one of the hotels on Wall Street whenever I was a kid. We are going to be able to use that, have staycations and other things. There's going to be a spa. So you can go book spa services there at the Omni. There's going to be a lot of amenities there, but they have to deliver on that project before any money it goes over to them. We're not prepaying for it.
Right.
Okay. Do you feel like I mean, I like the way downtown looks. I think it's really nice, especially because when we grew up, it was just skaters and hoodlums down there,
We actually visit downtown now.
That one sketchy coffee shop, right? What was that place?
Oh, I can't remember.
I love that place.
I never went to downtown. I'll be quite honest. I've been here my entire life, and I never used to go downtown at all. Of course, not in my adulthood, and having meetings and whatnot. And you go downtown to the Cancun Grill or whatever. Then I hit downtown, but now we're very much appreciative of what's happened downtown, especially for my kids, for his kids, the movies in the park stuff, like all that stuff is appreciated. And I think moving forward with the soccer fields and everything, we do understand where Midland is going, where you're going, and the city council is going with building all these things. And we're definitely for a lot of those things. And I know a lot of the listeners, and I know a lot of the people in Midland are for these things. Yeah. The only thing that I hear and that I gather is that they don't want to stray too far. Sure. That's what I hear. Yeah. They don't want to stray too far. And I think some of those worries are definitely value-based. So I think it's very good that you do answer some of the stuff about our values and keeping some conservative values in Midland for sure. And I know you answered some of that with the questions that Ricky got. So just that's one of the things that I always hear. So I don't know if that's something you answer like in any of these city council meetings whenever they bring stuff up. Do you answer anything as clearly as you've answered here today? I haven't been to any of them. I'm guilty, and most of the people out there haven't been to them. So they're just as guilty as me, right? But do you feel like you do need to answer or have more of those questions asked so that you can answer on those side of things? So the city council meetings are governed by state law, how we run those. So when there's an item that we're voting on, I do talk just like this about a lot of those issues. We chose this kind of debt instead of that one because this was a better interest rate. Definitely talk about all that kind of stuff. Talk about my goals and my vision. Midland Mary Lights. This is why we need Midland Mary Lights, because we want this to be a place that our kids want to come back here for Christmas. And we want this to be a place that has that kind of programming. Totally talking about that during all of those items. We have presentations where we try to talk about this, where people can get more information about our community, and I get feedback on those all the time. Gosh, I didn't know some of this stuff. Thank you for sharing it. The part where it is hard is that the true public comment period that has been much discussed on social media. Definitely. The state law governs the fact that we are not able to respond to that. So our response is limited to agreeing to put something on an agenda for a future date, or if there's something factual that we need to state, then we can say that. But anything else beyond that, we're in trouble. And so I'm very limited in how I can respond to public comment. I do get control over where it is in the meeting and some of those things. The reason that it is at the end after is because we have 40 some odd items on our agenda.
each of those represents a family or a business that is having to take off work to be there to take care of their business.
Yeah.
You know, to get their approval on their permit or to get their zone change that they need for whatever they're doing. I want to take care of those people's business. Those people are taxpayers and Midland residents too.
Yeah.
And so I want to take care of those people's business and get them back on their way before we get to the public comment period that is more just an open mic time.
Yeah.
And so I want you to have your open mic time. I'm not shutting you down, but we need to take care of business first, and then we'll get to the open mic moment. And so that's why it's in the order that it is.
Man, I think we're gonna have to do a quarterly Patch Boys episode or something.
Yeah.
You know,
I would love for you guys to run some of this stuff because I don't have a good way to get this out there in some of those conversations.
No, and it's very enlightening. Like a lot of the stuff that you want answered, I feel like people just want it answered a certain way. And when you are your hands are kind of tied and you have to answer only specific things because of rules or whatever, it's very difficult for you to kind of speak freely and people to hear your voice, your actual voice, and what you feel and how you feel about things. So I think this is great, man. Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great conversation. I think we kind of just wanted to touch a lot of things that I think that people want to know answers on. I think that's a lot that's going around, you know. I think what scares us, like I said earlier, is just the bonds and stuff like that. I think it's just a lot of money we see, right? And then,
scary numbers, right?
And then we see kind of like our mortgages go up a little bit with taxes, and it's like you know, people don't want to pay more than they have to, right?
Well, and so make sure the numbers are accurate. Some of what you're seeing about our debt numbers are not true. It's not over 800 million. It's 500 and something million, which is still a lot of money. I'm not saying that it's not, but it's what you're being fed is not all true.
Yeah.
So make sure you fact check that stuff. But then the other part of that is, you know, we actually have lowered the tax rate 3 years in a row since I've been mayor. And so this year with property valuations, and let's be clear, the property valuations that includes new properties that we added to the tax rolls, like a new business that wasn't there last year.
Right.
So they're going to be on there. Or, you know, you made renovation, you know, you added on 50% to your house or whatever. All of those go into the property valuation too.
Yeah.
So that's not just property tax increases, you know, to the people that live in those homes.
Yeah,
That's
also growth.
That's the total growth
Actual
of our
growth.
community. So all of that included, like, even if we take away any properties added to the community, with the reduction in our property tax rate this time, the average homeowner would have only paid $7 more this year.
Right.
$7 for the city portion. Now, the city portion is only 23% of your total tax bill. So when you look at your mortgage and it looks like your taxes went up, ask the question. You got to dig a little deeper. Is that the city property taxes, or is that other taxing entities? Is that the county? Is that the hospital? Is that the school district? Is that the college?
Right.
Or is it the city?
Okay.
And dig into it, because this year, $7 was the change for people whose property taxes went up. A lot of people's property taxes did not go up this year. Their valuations didn't go up. We just had a lot of stuff added to the tax rolls.
Well, I mean, that's good to know. And
Absolutely.
and that's stuff like us that we think of. And, you know, we work for a living like a lot of people who do listen to this podcast do.
Yeah.
And I think we're just asking questions that we kind of, you know, we don't have all day to be looking up politics and stuff. And,
Absolutely.
And honestly, I do think people should be more involved in local politics, right? Because it's such a big decision locally. And you don't want to elect somebody that doesn't believe what you believe in, right?
Right.
And do you feel do you feel like if somebody did run for something here, district, school board, whatever, city council, I mean, but like, would you tell people if this person was not what they say they are? Because I feel like we've had some people run that are not conservative, not Republican, yet they try to act like they're Republican just to get votes.
So my stance for my race is I'm going to keep my head down and run my own race, and I'm not going to trash talk anybody. And I've tried really hard to stick to that. That's my own core value. That's what I try to teach my kids. You play your game on the football field. You play your game, you know, on the basketball court. And I've tried to train my kids that way, and that's the way that I try to run my own campaign. And so probably not. I think that Midlanders are smart. I think that Midlanders do their homework, and they're going to be able to see candidates for what they are. It is not my job to trash talk about anything. It's my job to run my race, to tell the truth about the things, about the data that I have, and make sure that people have that information.
Okay. I was just curious because I mean, I feel like sometimes if people don't believe what I believe, I just feel like we should know, right? Like
You
I think,
should know.
yeah, and I
You
think,
should know.
and it's hard to. Sometimes you don't know. Like if you don't look it up, you just see a R beside them and you check. You know what I'm saying, or mark it, whatever the heck.
Yeah.
But that's what I was kind of curious about.
You need to do your homework as a voter, and we need groups like you guys. You know, we need Patch Boys and we need other groups to be able to say, hey, let's shine a light on this. Are they really what they say they are? We need people that are willing to do that. But I don't think that Midlanders like, you know, politicians trash talking each other.
I don't think they do either, but I do think they don't like being lied to, right? Like
Yeah.
if somebody's going to lie and say there's something and they're not, I think we take big offense to that, you
I
know?
agree.
And I think we've seen it in a lot of recent elections. I don't want to name anybody, but I think we've seen it and we've noticed it. And that's
and we
kinda-
got involved, actually.
Yeah, we got involved in a couple just because of it. But I just wanted to ask you that question, you know? And like you deciding to run for mayor again, like, was that a hard decision for you? Or like, did you just like say, I'm going to do it already? You already knew you were going to do it.
No, I really had to think through it. I mean, I've already said it cost me a lot. My husband and I work for a living too. And, you know, we own our company, and so I'm able to do my work for that company in between things, and you know, and he covers for me, and we have staff that are able to do that. But we work hard, and my husband is busting his tail to be able to afford me the opportunity to serve in this role. And so the decision to do it again was not something that I took lightly. I did struggle with it, but ultimately I want to give 3 more years to be able to do good things for Midland.
Well, shout out to him
Yeah.
for giving you that opportunity.
Jared, right?
Jared, yeah.
I saw him on the Lease Road commute.
Yeah.
With Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, he's a really, really solid man, and I'm so thankful for his support. You know, he's not out in the limelight a lot, but he does a really good job of supporting me and our family and leading. I mean, we have pretty traditional gender roles in our family, and he is by far the leader of our home, and I'm really thankful to have him in the role that he's in, and just the way that he leads.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Well, that's kind of how we are too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely, that's a beautiful thing, and it's very eye-opening to hear someone in your position say those things, man. So shout out to Jared, man. The Patch Boys appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, and it was great. It was great
absolutely.
to hear. Yeah,
It is.
But you know, I just want to say thank you. You know, I know you. It's good to see you come out. You know, and even after we had on, Judd. I don't know why I keep forgetting the name. Judd.
You're good, man.
Yeah,
You're good.
but you know, it was Judd Campbell, and it was good that you still came on, and you know, because honestly, that's what we want to do. We're going to give people both sides of the story, hear both of it, and you know, for you to put yourself in somewhere like that, you didn't know what we were going to come at you with, you know, and so I think it's good.
It's been very, I would say, honorable and good conversations with him and with you as well. And I think that you guys are having a very honorable race, which is very commendable, because we see politics what it is today on a national scale, and it's man, it's tough out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to thank you so much for your time, and I think we probably will be involved all the way up to the debate and everything, and hopefully putting as much stuff out. And the debate is
when is
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Dang,
okay.
There you go.
Okay, I knew it was really close. I just had not looked at the date again.
Early voting's the 20th.
Early voting is the 20th through the 31st of October, and election day's on the 4th.
Wow.
Election days on the 4th. So y'all get out there and vote. Really, this is we're giving y'all as much information as we possibly can so that you guys can go out there and exercise your right to vote. So do it.
Would you like to say anything before we end?
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to you guys. I do appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and asking really candid questions. I think it's important for us to be able to have these kinds of conversations, and we don't have a lot of forums to do that in Midland where people can really access information. So thank you for the forum that you provide here and for just the integrity with which you do it. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
Thank you
no
so
problem.
much.
Thank
We
you
appreciate
again.
those words,
yeah,
definitely.
and we appreciate you come. I'm like I said, man, it's been really great hearing your side and everything. So
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank God he allowed us to have this conversation here today with Lori Blong, and thank her for her time. And you guys get out there and exercise your right to vote.
That's right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, guys, check out our sponsor, Underdog Wireline. I know you heard of them, but I'm going to remind you guys, they offer wireline services from anything from open hole to completion. They do logging, they do frac jobs, they do about pretty much anything you want. They also offer layout machines. They got a slick line. They even got a torque and test now. So, give these guys a call. We're going to have all the links in the description below us. Give them a shout out. They're a local business out of Midland, Texas, and they really are a great company, man. So, show them support like you support us. Appreciate it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Patch Boys again, here to announce yet another sponsor, Branded 14 Hot Shot Services LLC. They offer hot shot work, ESP spooling, ESP technician service, and heavy hauling with semis. These guys are local. They're helping us out, so we want to help them out. Go give them a call at 432-638-1755. All the other information we're going to put right down here, so you guys can give them a call, send them an email, however you need to get in contact with them. We appreciate it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Patch Boys here. Blessed again to be announcing another sponsor for us. This one's going to be Titan. They're running out of crane. They're real close to me. It's family. So we want you guys to support them like they support us, right? So they're running out of crane. If you want to get in contact with them, it's 432-307-1960. Some of the stuff that they offer right now, if they have rustabout maintenance crews, trash trailers, porta potties, combo trailers, forklifts, and they're adding more stuff every single day. So if you guys want to support them so they can continue to support us and give you all the content that you want, go ahead and give them a call. Thank you.